Hey besties, welcome to Fem Nature. It's London. If you're new here, I help women shift into their soft life era through self-care, self-love, and glow up tips. If that is something that you're interested in, definitely hit that subscribe button and join the Lux Babes. Let's get right into it. I offer one-to-one coaching for the woman that is ready to shift out of the burnout, shift out of the people-pleasing, and enter their soft, luxurious life on their own terms. So if you're interested in that, I will list it down below in the description box, and I'll be seeing you. This video is all about being that high value woman that you've always dreamed of, that you always knew you were called to be. When I think about a high value woman, her standards are high. She is living the life that she loves. She is a person that everybody loves to be around, but she understands that her energy is sacred. That's how I would describe a high value woman. Think of a luxury bag, a high-end lifestyle that not everybody is able to afford, not everybody's able to attain. That's how I would describe a high value woman. She is very exclusive. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to become that high value woman. So like I said, how I would describe a high value woman is somebody that is very exclusive, very out of the reach of many, and it's very hard to get. Now that is all because the high value woman has standards. She has standards not only for other people, but for herself that she lives by on a day-to-day. She knows that she needs to work out and eat healthy. She knows that she has to be motivated and dedicated to her end goal, even when motivation is not there, because motivation is very fleeting. She knows that she has to carry herself in a certain way because the first impression is always the best impression, and she understands that not everybody needs to be in her energy to feel valuable or to be deemed as valuable. Let's break down how you could step into your high value woman era. You want to become very clear on your positioning in the world. The same way luxury brands position a purse, they position a car, they position things that are very out of reach to the regular average people, because not everybody is their customer, not everybody is going to understand their brand, and that is the same thing for a high value woman. Not everybody is going to understand her goals, or her lifestyle. So when you are trying to become a high value woman, you need to start positioning yourself. And when I say positioning yourself, that could mean you have to start changing your friend groups, you have to start opening your mind to new things, you have to start shifting your mindset and shifting your lifestyle to become that high value woman. For example, if you are tired of your friend group and you know that they are not where you're trying to go, and you know there's something of the past, you will need to shift yourself to a different friend group. That could be, first you start off with isolation. You got to understand what type of friends do you want. You have to really understand your target audience. You have to understand what type of people you want to be surrounded by. You have to understand everything to a T so that you know how to position yourself as the same way as a luxury brand would. So you would have to understand, let's say your old friends are people that gossip, they eat terribly, they don't do much except go to work, go home, and that's it. They don't have any extracurricular activities, they don't have any hobbies, or they're very close-minded. You would want to take note of that type of friendship and friend group, and see where you want to change things, or how you want to switch to being surrounded by different types of people that you will call your friends. So instead of being around people that don't work out, you will have to position yourself and enter groups where people are very active in their lifestyle. They work out, they do Pilates, they go for walks, you know, anything that keeps them fit and feminine. You would have to really understand that you would have to position yourself to become that, because just because you leave one friend group, who's to say that you're even, I wouldn't say worthy enough to be in another friend's group, but who's to say that you're at that level to submerge yourself into that friend group, especially if you're not working out yet, you're not hitting your goals, you're not doing the things that you aspire to be or aspire to be around. So you have to put yourself in isolation for just a little bit to really unlearn all the bad habits that you was doing before. You have to unlearn the bad eating habits, unlearn your lazy patterns. If you know you need to get up and work out and move your body, you should do that. If you know you need to get a membership somewhere to keep you on your workout goals, you should be doing that as well. Planet Fitness is a $10 gym, or you could invest heavily in join an Equinox Fitness, an Equinox gym. It all depends. Or you can also work out at home, do that as well. But you have to start understanding where you're at and where you're trying to go. With my companies, for example, that I've opened when I was a hairstylist, when I was selling hair, not everybody understood that my products and my services was for a specific type of woman. It was for the high value woman. It was for a woman that I've seen in myself that I would see in others, and not everybody would understand that. Not everybody was going to pay high-end prices for their hair extensions or their hair services. Not everybody understood that, you know, when you come to a salon, I wanted it to be a relaxing space. I'm not rushing, and I'm not, you know, offering a service that is low quality. Not everybody understood that. I became very strict and strategic on my business and how I wanted to show up. I lost a lot of old clients, yes, and that was granted, that was expected, and that was fine, because not everybody's going to go where you want to go. Not everybody's going to understand your transition. Not everybody's going to understand what you're trying to do. But I noticed that when I was offering my services to everybody at such a low point, I was not getting respected. I was not being taken serious. I was being known, or I was being treated as like the around the way stylist. Like, oh, if I just need my hair done real quick, I'm gonna just go to her. But I did not want my business to be like that. I wanted my clients to appreciate me the same way I appreciated them. I wanted to build a relationship with my clients the same way that I would want to be poured back into. So I had to shift my business. I had to be very strategic. I had to position my brand in a certain way that I am going to be respected for my craft. I'm going to be respected for my energy, and I'm going to be respected for the environment that I give the high value women. So I had to really shift my brand, and when I did that, I got paid so much more. I was more peaceful. My client interaction was more peaceful. Nobody was getting on each other's nerves. Nobody was giving me a hard time about services or pricing. It's like, if you know, you know. And that's the same way of being a high value woman. When you know you're a high value woman and you emit that aura, everybody else is going to have to fall in line. So when it comes to shifting into being that high value woman, you have to understand that you're not going to hang around or have the same people around you that you had previously, because they're not ready to shift into your new paradigm, to your new goals, to your new vision, you know? And you have to understand that that is okay. But I say, for anybody that is trying to shift into becoming a high value woman, you have to go into isolation, to brainstorm, to understand what type of women you want to become. So I offer a one-on-one coaching to help women step by step on how to shift into that desired person that they want to be, because it is not easy, and sometimes you definitely need help along the way, especially for a person that's already been through it and already did the work. So when it comes to shifting, you're going to have to rebrand. Life is all about rebranding and becoming that higher version of yourself. The same way Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton was not always a luxury handbag brand. They started off as suitcases, as luggage. Okay? So it's not where you start or how you started, it's about where you end. You're starting to shift and becoming that high value woman. You have to go into isolation to really understand where you're trying to go. Who's your target audience? You know, how are you trying to position yourself in this world? It gets that deep, and it gets very deep to where you have to be very strategic. I know people feel like they could just wake up one day and become Beyonce, or wake up one day and become Rihanna, but not really. You have to wake up one day and plan out what you're trying to do, because you have to know where you're trying to go. When I talk about you have to be in isolation, I mean you have to cut the noise. Everybody's not going to understand where you're trying to go. Everybody's going to call you delusional. Everybody's going to hold you to that old image that you were prior, and then keep trying to take you there instead of uplifting you and allowing you to shift into this new identity. Right? So when you are trying to become a high value woman, you need to understand that you have to hone in on what you're trying to do. Take accountability for where you're at right now, because it's not always everybody else around you. It's literally yourself. So you're going to need to take accountability, right? You're going to need to look at your surroundings, look at your peers, look at your environment, look at your home, look at your job. Is it aligning to the woman that you want to be? Is it aligning to who you want to be in the next 5 years? You got to really be serious on what you're doing and how you're living. That's just me being realistic, because not a lot of people talk about that there's a transition phase that you have to do for yourself in order to shift to a different room, shift to a different area in life. The second thing that I would say on becoming a high value woman is being very strategic. I want you to plan out everything. I'm a planner. I'm a person that needs to visually see things, write things down to know what I'm doing. And I feel like that's the only way that my dreams or my manifestations come to fruition, is if I plan it and write it out. If I'm just up in the clouds, la 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 la, one day I want to be a millionaire, I feel like I don't really get things done like that. I have to write it down, plan it, how I want to eat, how I want to look, where I'm going to be, where I want to live. I literally have to visualize where I'm going. So I feel like in order for you to understand where you're trying to go, plan it, be strategic. This is an example of being strategic. If you want to be surrounded by wealthy people, people are normally around like-minded people, right? So there's a saying, you are who you surround yourself with. You are the same as the 5 people you hang out with, something like that. So for people that want to, let's say, live in a luxury neighborhood, but they just can't afford it yet, you know what they do? They strategically plan events in that luxurious neighborhood. They walk their dogs in the luxurious neighborhood. They visit the luxurious neighborhood's cafes. They tour apartment buildings in the luxurious neighborhoods, because you have to get that feel for it. You have to be strategic on how you are going to shift into that high value woman. Even if it's not today that you are not living in that luxurious neighborhood that you really want to live in so bad, it could be a year from now. It could be 2 months from now. It could be next week. We don't know, right? So you have to strategically put yourself in places that you want to be in. Go to luxurious neighborhoods. Go to cafes. Go to a luxurious high-end shopping mall. If you want to buy a Louis Vuitton bag, you can't just sit at home and be like, oh, I wish I could get a Louis Vuitton bag. No, you're going to go to that Louis Vuitton store, browse the products, browse the items, because why not? You have to put yourself in the environments that you want to experience, right? Speak to a sales associate, have them help you, try on things, take videos of things, create a little story. Oh, I'm planning I'm buying myself a birthday gift in a few. I just want to, look for some bags. I just want to, see what my birthday gift to myself is. Who's going to stop you? I mean, you're there to shop. They don't know if you're going to buy something. They don't even know if you're going to like something enough to buy it, even if you had the money. So at the end of the day, you're being put in places that you want to experience. Do not shy away from experiences that would get you in that feeling of the high value woman. If you want to dine at fancy restaurants, dine at fancy restaurants. Don't accept coffee dates if you want to dine at a fancy restaurant while you go on a date. Don't accept the bare minimum if you want to have the best experiences in your life. Don't give yourself the bare minimum and expect high value experiences in your life. So being strategic is all about planning, understanding where you want to go, create vision boards. That's the way of being strategic. You're putting things on paper that you want to come to fruition. have calendars. Write down things. If you know that you need to budget in order to have a lifestyle and get better with your money management, start budgeting. It could be $1 a day. It could be $20 that you're putting aside on your payday. Literally, I am a person that used to spend, that didn't know where my money was going. I was an impulse buyer. If I wanted it, I wanted it right then and there. That had left me in a hole. That had left me in predicaments that I did not want to be in. And I can't sit around and cry. No, what I had to do was understand that high value women don't do shit like that. They don't. They are in charge of their money. You know, they're not out here spending stupidly. They are in charge of their money flow. They are in charge of investment savings accounts. They know what they're doing. And they have to be very disciplined to get to where they're trying to go. So now I'm very strict on where I spend, how much I spend. Even if I have that urge and that impulse, I have to think a high value woman wouldn't do that. A high value woman wouldn't just buy something because it's in their face. No, if they really wanted something, they would invest in that product that they really wanted and not something that is right in their face right now. So it's all about really being strategic and getting shit done that you need to know, that you need to get done in order to become that high value woman. Those are the tips that I have about being a high value woman and how you can start implementing those things into your life to become that high value woman and position yourself as luxury the same way these luxury brands do. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Also, don't forget to check out my website. I offer one-on-one coaching. I only accept 5 people a month because my energy is important and so is yours. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.